Hey, it's me, Dustin. Welcome back to Smarter Every Day. Earlier this year, I had an amazing opportunity to board a US Navy nuclear submarine on an ice floe in the Arctic. This is the next video in a Smarter Every Day deep dive series into submarines and how they work. So far, we've learned about the command structure and how torpedo tubes work, and there's a lot more videos to come. Given the fact that while on board this submarine, we're literally under several feet of ice, it's very important to me to understand how to handle situations that could jeopardize the boat. We have to be able to fix these problems from within the submarine, because a little problem could grow into a big problem in a hurry. So the word of the day for this video is
casualty.
Casualty.
Casualty. What is a casualty?
Casualty is what we call any kind of problem, I guess you can say. So a fire, flooding, those are casualties. So we are one of the biggest things that we train to, like I talked about, submarines, a very unforgiving environment, is to very rapidly, aggressively attack any kind of casualty in order to save the ship and save each other. So that's what we spend a majority of our time training to.
This is Matt. Chief Charlton is going to be the primary person to walk us through the different ways of responding to fire or flooding on the boat.
Okay, we just got in. We have to get trained on what to do in the event there's a fire.
So you can't, no ability to surface, no fresh air, right? So we have EABS, emergency air breathing system. So you have these manifolds all over the boat. What you do is you turn this right, it's just a little plug that'll fall out. If you look on the deck here, if you have a rectangular non-skid pattern, that means it's directly overhead. If you have one that's triangular shaped, then it's kind of on the bulkhead and you have to just look a little forward.
Got it.
Right, so first step you want to do to save yourself, plug the hose in so you have an air supply. And you kind of got to shove it up in there. Some of them are a little stickier than others are. And then you always want to clip this on your belt on the left side, because in a smoke-filled environment, you're not going to be able to see anything, so you have to kind of feel around. So if somebody's always putting it on the left side, then you know where it's going to be. Right? It's like a buddy tab, so you can plug into somebody else.
Oh, okay. Nice share.
Yep. And then what you do is you put your chin in the bottom here and pull the straps up over your face. And then you tighten the bottom two straps first. Then you tighten the top. And then you pull the flash hood over like that, right? So this is to protect you from heat damage. Obviously you want to roll your sleeves down. If it's hot, you want to get out of the affected space as soon as possible. But this is what will let you breathe in a smoke-filled compartment.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Can I try it?
Yep.
So first things first, I'm gonna put this on my belt.
Left side, strong side.
Left side. Just plug it straight in, or is
You gotta shove it way up in there, yep. You'll hear it click.
Oh,
there you
nice.
go.
Sorry. I'm busy putting a mask on. Then give it
Down.
Alright, so then if you want to check and make sure you've got a good seal, what you'll do is you'll take a breath in, twist that to the clockwise, and then you want to hold it because it's going to pop out, and then make sure you have a good face seal. If you get any air in there, then you're not getting a good seal, and you can get some. There you go. Alright, so now plug it back in. Good to go.
Cool. That's easy. And the right thing to do is for me to yell air before I do that, right?
You can. That's just a submarine thing. You want to let people know, hey, I'm going to cause a noise. It's not really normal to have air anywhere, so if we hear that, it can perk somebody's ears up and say, hey, what's going on? So we just kind of do that to let everybody know what's going on.
Gotcha.
So fire, we're not worried about that.
Yeah,
Nobody cares in the fire. So I say,
if you're running around saying air, one's going to look at you like crazy.
air. There you go. So I did that wrong. Yeah. so that's the hold it when I do it.
With the end.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
We didn't
Things
lose
you
the
learn
last
on the
two.
first day on the submarine.
Okay, got it.
So where would this be located?
Cruise mess is like a centralized area for everyone that's off watch. They kind of hang out here anyway.
Yeah.
So if a fire was to happen right now, right, the guys that are out here, they would just grab this. They're not going to run into their rack, grab an EAB, and then run to the unaffected compartment.
So what does the call sound like in the event of a fire? There's a
There would be an announcement on the 1MC, which is the general speaker, followed by a general alarm. It's just hit bongs for about 26 seconds, and then it'll turn off, and then they'll announce fire, and then they'll do a big long announcement for where it is, what the class is, how to route the hoses, things like that.
We're going to come back and see how they actually fight a fire together, but first, let's head down and see what they do if water starts to flood the boat.
Okay, so we're in the torpedo room, which is awesome. That's a torpedo by my foot. You know, normal stuff. But my understanding is this is the room that's most likely to flood. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, why is that?
So we have the torpedo tubes that are directly to sea. So we have one here, or two here,
Yeah.
and then two on the port side of the ship.
Okay.
So,
Got it. So the idea is
if you get a leak there or something, it's going to come in. Water's going to be everywhere here, and you got to get it out fast.
Absolutely.
And so this is a pump you're telling me?
Yes, sir. So it's a portable submersible pump. You could put this in any of our bilges, connect it to pump the water.
What are you connecting to?
So it's a big hose, essentially the fire hose that we have here, but a lot bigger.
So how long would it take to empty that bucket?
As soon as you turn that pump on, it's going to empty in about 5 seconds. So that's why we have 2 fire hoses here, fully pressurized. We have to discharge both of those simultaneously to maintain the drain rate of the submersible pump there.
That is a serious pump.
Yeah, you'll see it jump a few inches when they turn it on, just from that initial surge, and then the hose will immediately pressurize the drain header, and then they'll use the drain pump, which is back aft, to pump all the water off the ship.
Really? So it has to pump it at a pressure that's higher than the depth that we're at, right?
Correct. Yep. So it's variable speed. So we'll use that to pump overboard and overcome sea pressure.
That's amazing. So that pump line's going to come alive.
Yep.
It's going to smack him upside the head.
Right in the face.
I'll probably deserve it.
Whoa.
So they're having a throttle to maintain flow, and you want to keep it covered, but obviously we don't want to make a mess. Or the more stuff you make a mess, the more you have to clean up later. So
Right.
we can go ahead and
Cool.
I'm closing it. Secure the drain pump.
shut the bells. Shut the bells.
They're shut. Mine's shut.
It's
Start the first pump. Start the first pump. Start the pump. Start the pump.
Alright, stop the pump.
Stand by.
it's the hose backfilling.
Some of it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Start the pump.
2 drain station. Start the drain pump. Start the drain pump.
Alright, stop the pump.
Stop the pump.
Alright.
And stop the drain pump.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
So like a little bit of water got on the floor.
A little bit.
So what happens to that water?
So there's actually a bilge underneath here, so we'll go in and there's a bilge suction that we can use to pump that out with a pump, and then the rest of it that we can't get that's below the suction, we can use just a regular vacuum cleaner, clean that up, dump it into a funnel, and it'll fill up one of the sumps or bilges that we have.
Really?
And we'll consolidate all that stuff and then we pump it overboard.
Wow. It's amazing. Can I follow that hose?
Yeah.
I can follow that hose? So I'm following that drain hose. So I went this way. Oh man. Straight through where people sleep. This is where people sleep. Right there. Is this where it goes? That's where it ends up.
So that's right down there, and that goes to the trim system.
Back in the crew mess, quickly becoming one of my favorite places.
Yeah?
What are we doing?
All right, so right now we're going to do a simulation of the putting a temporary patch on the pipe that would have been leaking during the flooding drill that we're doing.
This is just copper pipe?
It's just a copper pipe.
Got
It's
it.
open-ended just for the simulation. So
What kind of material is this?
It's a piece of bent steel with rubber on the inside, so that way when we actually put pressure on it, it kind of digs in, creates like a gasket,
Yeah.
holds everything together.
Cool. Rock and roll. Does this happen a lot?
No.
It's a bad day. It does.
Oh yeah, horrible day.
And so what they're doing now is that they're applying this chain wrench, and what that's going to do for them is, imagine that pipe was ruptured, and so the flooding would be coming out of that pipe. So what they're doing is the chain wrench is going to hold that banded in place so that they can apply the strapping to it and then eventually secure that, and then that's what's actually going to hold the pressure. But in the meantime, right, they're not just going to hold that on with their hands, because depending on what your depth is, that could be too much force for one person to hold. So it's going to be about a 2-person job. They got their personal protective equipment on, all the gloves so they don't cut themselves on the metal straps. They apply the patch to the pipe, kind of off from where the leak is, so the leak's still going to be going on. Imagine like straight out this way.
Yep.
But this is going to be off center so that you can get the chain wrench on there, so that when you roll it over where the leak is, it doesn't fly off and hit you in the face. All right, so now that he's holding that, he's got the chain wrench on there. He's going to apply the strapping, and that's what's going to hold the pressure on the pipe. So they do it on one side, they'll dog it down is what it's called, with our bandit tool, which is what he has there. So they'll apply that, he'll wind that up, and that will create tension on the bandit.
Oh, got it. I see it now.
Yep. So as he winds that up, that'll apply the tension. And then once you start to see a crease along the edge of here on the strapping, that's when you know it's actually taking the pressure off of the leak and it's applying it to the strong back.
So the blue is called the strong back.
Yep.
And what's the gasket material called?
It's just a gasket.
Got it.
Rubber.
Got it. So that's the band. So this is a permanent band, or well, it's not a permanent fix, but it's pretty close to it.
This would be as close as we could get without, doing some sort of weld repair or pulling into port and getting an IMA to come down here and fix the pipe for us. So in the meantime, this would allow us to casualty restore a system if it was something that we needed to operate the ship. We could do that by applying this emergency patch, and that would stop the flooding.
So you're at sea, at depth. You spring a leak. This is what you do.
Yep.
So are you maintenance, or what's your title?
Yes. So I am a machinist mate. So I'm a mechanic, but I just work back in the engine room. So, but damage control is just an important part for everyone in the crew.
So you said machinist. So do you guys have a mill and a lathe on the ship?
We do.
Really? Can you show me that?
I can't, fortunately.
Oh, you can't?
It's back in the engine room.
Everything's in the engine room.
Everything cool's in the engine room.
Oh, man.
Every person on board has to be able to stop flooding, put fires out, respond to casualties. So if you see a guy with their submarine dolphins on, that means that they have proven that they know that. So far you've seen a nuclear machinist mate, a non-nuclear machinist mate. In a second you'll see a cook come out, fight a fire, electricians down in the torpedo room, you have torpedo room, you have sonar tech. So no matter what your job is in a submarine, you have to know how to fight a casualty. And the two big ones for us are fire and flooding. So
really?
That's what's unique about submarines. Other communities have special guys that's their whole job is to do damage control. But everyone here does it, from the cook to the captain knows how to stop.
That's awesome. It's a big deal. So this is it, huh?
So that's it.
That's it.
Done deal.
So she's sealed up, huh?
Yep. So in a matter of 3-4 minutes, we're now able to withstand about 2,000 pounds of pressure with just this temporary patch that we have.
That'll handle 2,000 psi.
Yes.
Wow.
And with each with every additional band, that's an extra 1,000 if it's applied properly.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. So, man, that's legit. It's a little bit harder when it's spraying on you, though. I'm
Oh
assuming.
yeah, it definitely is.
You guys ever done it?
We do a trainer every now and again up at on upper base, the subschool portion, and they actually have things spraying on you. You got to run around and try and get it before water gets too hot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So water's coming in on you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes. It'll fill up like a swimming pool, so they'll pump thousands of gallons a minute through this big rupture in a pipe, and you got to get in there, and you're wading waist deep, hands cold. You got all the tools you need. You're trying to apply this emergency patch, and we send as many people as we can to that, and it's a pretty awesome training.
Oh, yeah, because just because the water's coming up, that means you just got to work faster, right?
Yeah, and if you do it in the wintertime, the water is significantly colder, so
Really?
extra motivation to get the pipe patch on there quickly.
Wow, that's amazing. So Captain's about to simulate a fire, and we're going to, you're going to put it out?
Oh, I'm not putting out. So here we're testing the rapid responders on the ship. So we our metric is minute. We want a minute. We want guys in here extinguishing agent on the fire, because within about 2 minutes, if there's a fire about the size of a trash bag, it would make the forward compartment, the control room full of smoke, and won't be able to see unhoused. So we practice all the time to quickly secure the power to put the fire out, and then watchstanders. And again, like I said before, you'll see nuke electricians, you'll see a cook, you'll see nuke mechanics, you'll see sonar techs. They all come, rapidly respond, and Senior Chief is going to talk you through that whole sequence of events. But it's going to be right there.
Do they know it's coming?
Oh no, we do it all the time. Surprise.
Okay, cool. Sweet.
This time, yes. But normally, we do it all the time as like a surprise.
Yeah. Sweet.
So he'll walk you through this.
So are you about to start a fire by plugging in something?
When I get the word.
Yep, so again, the name of the game is we can't really light off a fire on board, so we have to simulate everything we do and clue people in with just something visual or something audible. Right? So we'll use a small bicycle light here. That'll simulate that there's a fire in this electrical component, so somebody should call that away, and then if it was to spread, say, to the surrounding area, this is all lagged, so that's all flammable material. We would plug these rope lights in, and it would spread to the surrounding area, right? And then from there, it would go either in the outboards and up, or it would go just straight up if it's in an open space, right? So you always man the scene as well as the vertical spread so that you can attack that if it was to light off. Right, so what I'll do right now is I'll light off this electrical fire, and then our galley watch captain will call that away in the space.
Code red! Code red! Code red, code red, code red and forward compartment. Best from paddle P15.
Right, so what he's just done is
Code
he's...
red in forward compartment. Code red in forward compartment middle level. Slash Charlie code red from
So are you
cruise
judging them right
power
now?
panel P15.
Always judging them.
Engine test set.
Fire bait pressurized to 5 pounds and ready for use.
All right, so what he's done now is he's called it away. The chief of watch knows, so everybody now knows where it's powered from, and they can secure power. We want that done within the first 30 seconds, so that we can hopefully put out that fire because it's electrical. All right, so we've gotten our initial response. He's come through. He started fighting the fire with the CO2. He's now been relieved by the watchstanders back aft. They brought portable extinguishers with them. They've secured power.
Code red. Power secured to power panel P15.
Right, so Verdi just secured power, and so now he's here to don his breathing protection like we showed you earlier, and he's going to relieve the unprotected person that's fighting the fire. And you'll see right behind you that CS1 just showed up with a fire hose, so that's our
fire hose, I relieve you. You relieve me, alright? Pressurize the hose! Pressurize the hose!
All right, so now we've got a sustained firefighting.
Engine test set. Burst!
So we've now we've tested our agent. We now have a continuous application with the fire hose, and that's something that we can sustain. Extinguishers last for about 45 seconds, but now that we have a fire hose, our EAB watchstander is going to relieve the hoseman who's not protected again from that smoke, and now we have a semi-sustained firefighting effort. He'll continue to burst until he's relieved by off-going watchstanders. So we always have somebody on watch. We always have somebody driving the ship, operating sonar, back aft, operating the engine room. So those are our initial responders that we want to show up. They're gonna be awake. They don't have any other duties. So they are fighting the fire until the off-going guys are dressing out in full firefighting suits like you would see show up at your house if your house is on fire.
Oh, wow.
Right, so in a minute or two, you're gonna see watchstanders come from back aft. That'll be a team of 3 personnel. It'll be a leader with a firefighting thermal imager. It's called a NIFTY. He's gonna be your eyes and ears. Right, and then you'll have a hoseman and a nozzleman that are dressed out, and that's your fully sustained firefighting response. Our metric for that is 6 minutes. So we assume that, you know, if we apply agent within that first minute, like the captain was talking about, and secure power, then the fire should go out. If not, we've got our now sustained firefighting responders. All right, so now they're relieved by the FFE team. So we've got our hoseman, our nozzleman, and then Chief Banholtz is our nifty operator. So he's the eyes and ears. And this entire compartment is now filled with smoke, so they can't see. He's the only one that can see. So what we'll do is we'll use a flashlight to simulate where the fire is, and he'll use hand signals because this hose is spraying and it's super loud. There's no way he's going to be able to hear or see the fire. So he's now tapping to show him where to direct the flow of the nozzle so that we can put out the fire.
So it's nonverbal communication.
It's nonverbal communication, right? And so we test that to make sure that everybody knows what those signals are and that they can anticipate what that is. And now you hear the report that the fire's out, so they would inform the phone talker, like you just did, and then control now knows, and now we can commence the rest of the response. So things we have to think about now are, I need to overhaul the fire, make sure there's no embers or anything that are going to cause it to reflash. I also need to get the smoke out of this compartment, so the man in charge would be the guy with the nifty. He's going to inform control that, hey, we need to ventilate so we can get all that smoke off the ship.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So this is a self-contained breathing apparatus.
Correct. Yep,
Yeah.
Those bottles are rated for 45 minutes.
Are they flowing right now?
Yes. Right, so that's the air that they're using, forced air, to isolate them from the ship's air.
And so he's looking through the mask here.
Correct. All right, so it's just a thermal imager. He can even show you the screen. You want to show him the screen?
Secure from code red. Fire main secured.
All right, so
Oh wow. It's a really good image.
Yep. So what we'll do there is there's multiple modes. So what we'll do is when we're testing this during drill days, we'll heat up like a small bottle of water and we'll hide it, say up in the overhead so we can make sure that guys are actually doing a thorough search. And once they find that, if they were to find a hot spot, they'd call that away. They would simulate cooling it with the hose, and then they would go on about their day.
So they got those. Where were they located normally when they have to go get this gear on? I mean, this is.
So we have gear stage up forward, and we also have some stage back aft, so that if the fire was to go back aft, we have some gear up forward that we can grab. If it's up forward, then we have some in the engine room. We can put that on.
Is it always the same person that operates this device?
So, based on the watch wheel, yes, it's always the off-going. This watch station will man the nifty. This watch station will be the hoseman and then Oscar.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
You guys are good.
Thanks, guys.
Going back to hookup.
So was that actually pressurized?
Yes.
Yeah. So can I feel that? Good grief. That's amazing. How'd they do?
They did great.
They did good?
They did great.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. So what's your measure of success? So
For this, it's if they get the power secured right away, and then if the initial responders get there in about 30 seconds, and then like she said, the full hose team is there in 6 minutes. But the big thing we test with this is securing the power right away and getting that initial extinguisher on the fire. Like I said, in a submarine, you only have a minute or two before it quickly fills with smoke and it's uninhabitable.
So fire is the biggest deal, and so that's why you guys drill like this all the time.
All the time.
Okay, that's awesome.
Usually once a watch, we'll run one of these. We call them code reds because you don't.
What is a watch? Forgive me for not knowing that.
So we split the day into 3 8-hour watches. So an entire watch team of sonar, guys driving the ship, guys running the engine room, officer of the deck. There's all these watch standers. They're the ones driving the ship and running the show. They do it for 8 hours. And then a whole other team comes up and relieves them, and they do it for 8 hours. Then a whole other team comes and relieves them for 8 hours. So that, like Senior said, the guys on watch with fires have certain responsibilities. So, if you're the broadband sonar operator, you leave sonar and run and fight a fire. If you're the auxiliary tactician aft, which means you're in charge of all the electronics in the engine room, and there's a fire, you leave your watch station and go fight the fire. And then if you're the off-going guy, like you just got off watch within the last 8 hours, like these guys, then you have just certain responsibilities. So, if you're the off-going engineering watch supervisor, like Chief Van Holtz, if he's asleep and he hears fire, he wakes up and he puts that on and fights the fire.
Wow, that's intense. It's a big deal. Thanks for showing me that. So to summarize, so the first thing is get to the fire and get the first fire extinguisher on it.
Yep, calling it away accurately so that the control knows and that everybody else can respond to that. If you were to, if somebody's tripping over the words and they're too excited, then they could call it away in the wrong component, or somebody responds to the wrong area, or they secure power to the wrong thing.
Got it. Okay, second thing is what?
Is applying that agent. So getting an agent on the fire and then getting a continuous application of that agent. So your CO2 lasts for so long, getting somebody else to show up and supplement you with an additional extinguisher, and then don breathing protection. So that's what they'll do. They'll drop off an extinguisher. You've still got one that's good. They don their breathing protection, and now they're good to go.
So I saw everybody did this. They said, "I relieve you."
Yep.
What's the deal there?
So again, right, you think about a smoke-filled compartment. You can't really simulate that very well in a drill environment, but we have to force them into that muscle memory, right? So they're not going to be able to see the fire. They just have to turn over verbally where it's going to be and what the status of that fire is, and then they tap them to know, "I relieve you," and then the other guy knows he's now good to leave, and the fire's not going to be unattended and
Somebody owns that fire at all times.
Correct.
Got it. So when you say "I relieve you," that's saying I now have control of fighting this fire.
Correct.
Got it. That's legit, man.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
That was awesome. How long did it take you to get this on?
So typically we're able to get everything dressed out in about 3 to 4 minutes, especially if you're experienced and we practice so much. So it's really key to get dressed back there on time, so that way we can stay in the heat where other people in their regular uniform would get pushed back.
Really? And you just have the gear ready to go at all times?
So they're all staged in lockers. These are hanging up, like Senior Chief said, but basically, yep, we rip these off, and then all the guys back down help us dress out because they know the importance of us getting back on time to be able to put out.
All right. Can I just say that you're very tall to be on a submarine? So how often do you hit your head?
All the time.
Do you seriously?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, man.
Yep. It happens. I'm not the tallest one, but it happens.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it was pretty intense when you came in the room. It was like an overbearing presence. It was good. Thanks, man. We appreciate it. Yep. This episode of Smarter Every Day is sponsored by Raycon earbuds. They are these little Bluetooth earbuds that work seamlessly with your phone. You see the little magnets that just pop them back in position? They're fantastic. You charge this little pill up, and then the earbuds, you see those little contacts right there? They charge inside the little pill. So basically, you've got 6 hours of playtime on these things, and I use them all the time. This particular model is called the Everyday E25, and it sounds just as good as other audio brands. My trick is match the BPM of the music to the stride when you run. Here we go.
That's what a 5K looks like with Raycons. There's a button on the outside. You can tap it to pause. You can also pull one out of your ear if you're passing old ladies with dogs and want to say nice things. If you want to get some Raycons and try them out, you can do that by going to buyraycon.com/smarter. That gets you 15% off the order. You're gonna dig them. They're priced right. They put up with my sweat. I do good to finish a 5K, which I just did. I'm a 10-minute mile kind of guy. Yeah, you're gonna dig some Raycons. Big thanks to everyone who supports the sponsors. Buyraycon.com/smarter for 15% off your order. Oh yeah, you can try those things for 45 days, and if you don't like them, you can just give them back. That's pretty cool of them. Anyway, a lot more cool stuff on Submarines coming. Please feel free to subscribe. That's what you call it when you click the button thing, right? I can't think, I'm tired. I'm Dustin, getting smarter every day. Please enjoy the rest of the Submarine series that's coming up. Have a good one. Bye. Oh, shower time.
So earlier, I was making fun of you because you're tall. Yep. How tall are you?
6'2", 6'3".
And you're 6'7".
I am. Yeah, 6'7".
And you did this on purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
You
it's
just,
not too bad.
Yeah?
Hit my head a little bit, but
it's not that bad?
forget about it. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. I thought in the Navy, like, if you were short, then